Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Check out my channel for more videos on Marvel and DC Comics. Miles Morales, Earth 1610, aka the Spider-Man Complete Series Part 1. After Norman Osborn was arrested by S.H.I.E.L.D. and publicly revealed as the Green Goblin, and nearly 2 months before Peter Parker's death, a thief broke into the abandoned Osborn Industries. Unbeknownst to the thief, a spider genetically enhanced with the ounce formula crawled into his bag. Miles Morales, a young kid from Brooklyn, visited his uncle Aaron Davis, which was against his parents' wishes, due to his uncle's criminal past, after being awarded the final spot in a charter school lottery. At his uncle's apartment, Miles was bitten by the ounce-enhanced spider, which emerged from Aaron's bag, and Miles discovered he received superhuman abilities like camouflage, increased agility, as well as some sort of stun blast, and upon revealing his newly found powers to his best friend, Gank Lee, both concluded he had power similar to Spider-Man's, including wall crawling, but Miles reacted negatively, as he just wanted to be normal, and decided to leave heroism to the actual Spider-Man. Months later, Spider-Man died, saving his family from Osborn. Miles arrived late to the scene. Struck with grief at not helping Peter Parker before his demise, Miles decided to follow Parker's philosophy: with great power comes great responsibility, and so continue Peter's legacy. During his first night as Spider-Man, Miles faced Kangaroo while wearing a Spider-Man Halloween costume. Miles' next patrol was cut short when he was attacked by Spider-Woman, who demanded to know who he was. After accidentally knocking himself out, Miles was held captive in a cell at the Triskelion S.H.I.E.L.D.'s headquarters. There, he was interrogated by Nick Fury, and his origin revealed to them. Electro woke up in the Triskelion medical ward from a coma, caused during Parker's fight against Norman Osborn, and battled the Ultimates. Miles' participation was crucial for the hero's victory, and he was rewarded with Spider-Woman's approval for Miles to officially be the new Spider-Man. Miles in his new costume stops a mugging, albeit very sloppily. The police arrive, but Miles escapes, not before Betty Brant captures video footage of him on her phone, which she brings to the Daily Bugle and presents to J. Jonah Jameson. The story of a new Spider-Man in New York makes the headlines. Miles, at his parents' house, has a talk with his mother about the recent news he learned about the criminal past of his father and Uncle Aaron. Gank comes over and presents Miles with the DVD of the Spider-Man movie that was released several months ago, featuring actual footage of Peter Parker fighting with Dr. Octopus. Gank suggests that he study Peter's moves so he can become a better crime fighter like Peter was. While at the dinner table, the Morales family discussed about the all-new Spider-Man, which resulted in Miles' parents being on different sides, Miles' father being against Spider-Man and his mother being for Spider-Man, thinking it cool. Miles' father is not so happy with it because of the fact that a mutant used his powers to flood the whole city of New York, causing millions of people to die. But Miles' mother reminds Miles' father that thanks to a young boy in a Spider-Man costume, he saved countless lives and did whatever he could to save the city, and also was honored after he died. Later on, Miles hopped around rooftops practicing his new powers. Miles decides to test his wall-crawling abilities on a tall building to see how far he can climb, but soon remembers that he has a sort of fear of heights. Then Miles tries to find a way into the building so he can get downstairs, and finds himself on the hotel floor of Principal Suitress, who faints in shock at seeing the new Spider-Man. Miles then hears an explosion occur far off in the distance. He decides to jump over to the area to see what is going on. Since he has no web shooters yet, he cannot swing towards the danger. As Miles arrives in the area, he starts to feel a buzzing in his head, which is his spider sense. He starts to understand its purpose a little bit more, as he dodges a flying car that was heading right for him. He comes face to face with Omega Red, who is surprised and angered to see another Spider-Man. Miles and Omega Red, with Miles making fun of Omega Red's name. To quickly end the battle, Miles uses his Venom Blast, which has good effect on Omega Red, putting a stop to the villain. The scene then cuts to Miles and Gank talking about Miles' fight against Omega Red and how awesome and cool the fight was. But Miles believes that in order to be prepared for much more dangerous and lethal villains he must train harder, and Gank is about to propose an idea until Miles' uncle Aaron appears. Miles was shocked when his uncle Aaron confronted him with the revelation that he knew Miles was the new Spider-Man. When Aaron told Miles he wanted them to work together, but Miles refused, so Aaron threatened to tell Miles' father about his secret. Miles was confused as to what to do with the whole situation. Together they went to fight the Scorpion. After defeating Scorpion, Miles handed him to the police, which resulted in him almost being arrested. When Miles refused to help his uncle again, Aaron unveiled his latest toy, a vulture suit. Realizing his uncle intended to use him as his personal enforcer, Miles realized it was time to face Aaron. Miles then battles the Ringer. The two fought a catastrophic battle in which Aaron utilized vibro-shock gauntlets. One of them was damaged in battle. The vibro-shock gauntlets later caused it to short-circuit and explode, killing him. In an unusual turn of events, Miles accidentally encountered the Spider-Man of an alternate universe. Because Peter Parker was dead in his world and there was confusion between the two, they began to fight. 27 Peter unmasked Miles and demanded answers. However, Miles managed to knock out Peter using his Venom Strike. Unsure what to do with him, Miles brought Peter to Shield to sort things out. At the Triskelion, Fury learned that this Peter Parker was from another world entirely. Suspecting there might be trouble in a dimensional incursion, he wanted to have Miles fill Peter in on what happened to that world's Peter Parker 9. However, the conversation was cut short when Mysterio appeared to attack both Spider-Men by shooting their helicopter right out of the sky with a RPG. Miles and Peter battled against Mysterio, who conjured up illusions of their greatest rogues in order to subdue them. Mysterio managed to escape the battle, leaving the two Spider-Men to come up with another plan of attack. Miles was present when Peter reunited with the Aunt May and Gwen Stacy counterparts of his universe, touched by the tender moment between them. Miles and Peter were soon called away by Nick Fury to fight Mysterio again. Although they expected Mysterio to be defeated, the illusionist quickly resorted to a backup plan, using the hero's greatest fears against them. Miles' particular fear was the sight of his uncle Aaron standing over his dead parents, having murdered them both. However, the heroes managed to overcome Mysterio's illusions and defeat him. While Mysterio was kept within the Shield custody of Miles' universe, Peter spoke to him about his role as the new Spider-Man, saying that he was genuinely satisfied with it. Miles was secretly approached by Gwen Stacy and Aunt May, who tried to give him Peter Parker's original web shooters to help him. Captain America followed them and tried to make Miles abandon the mantle of Spider-Man. 31 After Miles helped Captain America to defeat the Rhino, he agreed to let him be Spider-Man, but with the need of better training in order to improve. Miles joined the Ultimates in the wake of a civil war, in which Captain America was elected president to help unite the splintered factions of the US. The Daily Bugle is on the hunt to find out everything they can about the new Spider-Man. Miles was present during the battle for Wyoming and Project Pegasus against the revolutionary terrorists of Hydra, in which Spider-Woman was forced to team up with him. In the end, the heroes were victors. But during the battle, Miles managed to board one of the War Machine androids hovering in the skies and accidentally struck him right into Giant Woman, and was abandoned in a wasteland away from the battle. He began walking until he encountered Giant Woman, and had to battle her as she was still under the mind control of Modi, the leader of the revolution and son of Thor. After she was knocked unconscious, a Hummer with Spider-Woman searching for Miles arrived the scene, who helped him to return home. During the Civil War, Miles' father, Jefferson, fought Hydra soldiers, which caught the attention of the press and tried to interview him. Jefferson was later attacked by the Venom, who days later followed Betty Brant's investigation to incorrectly suspect Jefferson was the new Spider-Man. Miles, as Spider-Man, managed to rescue his father, as the creature later escaped. After the battle with Venom, Miles began to feel like it was his fault that Venom attacked his father. Gank managed to convince him that they can stop Venom before it happens again, but were unable to think how, until Mary Jane and Gwen showed up. After a long discussion about Venom, Maria Hill appeared, revealing she knew the truth about Miles and told him he had to stop the symbiote before someone else got hurt. Mary Jane and Gwen then forced her to leave after the discussion. Miles went outside to confront Maria, but was stopped when an officer received word that Venom was attacking the hospital Miles' parents were at. Miles then left for the hospital to confront Venom. Miles arrived and began to fight Venom by utilizing his Venom Blast. Venom managed to gain the upper hand and grabs Miles, but he was saved after his mom started shooting Venom with a gun. Miles told her to escape, but she refused. Miles then got grabbed by Venom again and was nearly consumed when Rio revealed that Miles was her son. Venom proceeded to consume her as well until Miles used his Venom Blast on the inside of Venom, causing it to be removed from its host. The police showed up and shot Venom's host and the remains of the symbiote. Miles moved his mother to safety, but soon found out she had been caught in the crossfire and was dying. He began to scream for help, but is stopped by Rio, who told him she was proud and to never tell his dad the truth, before dying. Miles later woke up to find himself at Gank's house. Miles ran into the room he was and proceeded to rip up his costume, screaming "No more!" repeatedly. A year passed since his mother's death, and Gank nor Jessica Drew were able to convince Miles to assume the identity of Spider-Man again, who also had a girlfriend named Kate Bishop 44. After two of Rah Khan's subjects escaped and were seen battling Bombshell, Miles was finally convinced by Jessica Drew, who told him her origin as a clone of Peter Parker created by Rah Khan, to return to be Spider-Man and stop Rah Khan once and for all. 45. Cataclysm. Due to Earth 61112's Wolverine's abuse of the time-space continuum broke the fabric of reality, causing a multiversal chaos, where numerous beings from other realities were transported to other universes through the tiers of reality. One of the beings was Galactus of Earth 616. Miles was present when said being arrived to Earth and destroyed New Jersey. Miles helped save civilians, and was recruited by the Ultimates when they tried to plan what to do. Iron Man discovered the entity came from the same universe Peter Parker temporarily came from months ago, Earth 616. The Ultimates decided to use a portal recovered from Mysterio to go there and ask for help to their Reed Richards, as suggested by Beck. Before they could decide who would go, Reed Richards appeared and recommended to put their differences aside and let him go, as he could access to the other Richards files in case he wasn't available to help them at the moment. The Ultimates let Richards go, with the condition of being accompanied by Miles Morales. Both heroes managed to arrive to Earth 616, extract the information needed and return. He also revealed his double life to his father, who believed Miles was responsible for the death of Aaron and Rio, and rejected him. In the wake of the near destruction of the Earth at the hands of Galactus, Tony Stark decided to disband the Ultimates. However, Spider-Woman decided to continue the legacy of the deceased Captain America in the form of a team of young heroes, the Young Ultimates, of which Spider-Man formed part.